All right. Greetings, fellow grade 11s. It's Mr. Lajoy here. Look, we are still looking at our financial mathematics, and we are, looking at a past paper which was written, I think this was November 20, right? This is November 2023, right? So now we are still looking at, financial maths to see in terms of what is it that we can do in these types of questions whenever we are given, right? Now let's start. So they say now, a construction vehicle was bought at 625,000. Then the value of the vehicle depreciate annually at a rate of 10.25% per annum on the reducing balance method. Now they want us to calculate the book value of the vehicle 6 years after it was bought, right? So which means here they want us to calculate in terms of what is going to be the reducing balance of this particular car 6 years after it's been used, right? So which means now here, as soon as they say reducing balance method, we are going to use the formula A is equals to P into 1 subtract I to the power of N. Then now, what is it that you are going to have in here? Now, number one, the principal amount is 625. Then into 1 subtract, what is the interest given here? It's 0, 1, 2. This is 0, this is 0, 1, 0, rather 1, 0, 2, 5. And then now this is going to be to the power of what? To the power of 6. Okay. So now this is going to be the reducing balance method. And now what is it that you're going to end up getting here? So if you plug this in our calculator, you are going to end up having 3,206, 300,000, 26,653. Look at me, right? Comma what? Comma 08 altogether. So now this is the value of this particular vehicle, 6 years after it was bought, right? So you can see that it depreciated up until this particular value altogether. Now, so let's look at 7.2. Now in 7.2, they want us to calculate the effective interest rate if an investment term earns an interest rate of 8% per annum compounded quarterly, right? So as soon as we speak of compounded quarterly, which means we are saying now here, which means it's going to be paid 4 times in a year, right? So which means now as soon as we also speak of effective interest rate, now we have this formula for ours, which is 1 plus I for effective rate is equals to 1 plus I for nominal rate over your M, then close brackets to the power of 1 to the power of M. And now what is it then that you're going to have here? So this is going to be same as 1 plus, right? This is 1 plus I effective is going to be same as what? 1 plus, what is the nominal rate that you are given? They said it's 8%, which means it's 0.08 divided by the M, and the M here represents the compounding period, right? So which means this is compounded quarterly, and this is going to be also what? This is compounded, is it quarterly? Let's see, right? Oh, it's half yearly. Why am I saying quarterly? It's called compounded half yearly, which means it's twice per year, right? So it's going to be twice per year, right? So that's basically going to be that one, right? And then now what is it that you're going to get? Which means now for I effective, then you're going to say here, either you can plus 1 here, right? For an example, you can minus 1 here. You can minus 1 here, right? Can minus your 1 here and also minus 1 this side, or you can transpose that one to the other side, right? So which means your I effective is going to be same as 1 plus 0.08 over 2 to the power of what? To the power of 2 subtract 1. And then now when you write this in your calculator, what is it that you're going to get? So you are going to get what? Now here you are going to get your this is going to be same as what? When you're writing this is going to be same as 0, this is 0.0816, right? And then now, which is going to be your I effective. And when you are having that, then you're going to multiply this by 100%, right? And as you are multiplying this by 100%, this is going to be same as 8.16%, which you are going to end up what? Which you are going to end up having. How to get, right? So basically, that's going to be that. Right? Now let's look at what is it that you are going to do now next in the following question. Now, in 7.3, basically, what we are having is that now they say a house was bought at 4.5, was bought 4.5 years ago. Now they say the value of your house increased at a 15% interest per annum compounded quarterly, right? And now if the value of the house is now 1,671,650,74, right? Now they want us to calculate what is going to be the purchase price of this particular home, right? Now, what is important is here, can you see they say now the value of the house increased, right? So which means this is going to be a compounding interest. So we want to know in terms of what was the principal amount if now the house is worth 1,671,650,74. So now we are going to say this is A is equals to what this is A is equals to P into 1 plus your I to the power of n, right? Now the accumulated amount, it's going to be the 1,067,000, right? 671,650, 74 is equals to, now here this is the principal amount that we do not know, and then this is going to be 1 plus what is the interest that you are going to have here. The interest that you are given here, it's 14%, which means this is 0.14. Then they said it's compounded quarterly, which means it's going to be over 4, and then this is going to be still same as what, 4.5 years multiplied by 4 altogether. Then now that's going to be that. But now what we are looking for the principal amount, right? So whenever you're looking for the principal amount, then you are going to divide both sides. What is it that you're going to do when you divide both sides? You are going to say, look, now here, when you are dividing here, you are going to be left with the P, right? So you say P, it's same as 167, 1, comma, or rather 650,74, then divided by what? Then this is going to be divided by, when you plug this in your bracket, you're going to get 207, I think, over 200, then to the power of what? To the power of 18. And then what is that you're going to end up having as a principal amount, which means now the value of this house when it was bought, it was just 899,951, what, 80 cent, right? So which means that was the current value of that particular house before now, or rather 4.5 years ago. Once again, now, so let's look at what is it then that you're going to have again. So let's look at now 7.4. Now in 7.4, right? What is it then that you're having in 7.4, right? So now we've calculated this one, which is fine. We've calculated here, which is correct. Now let's look at 7.4, right? Now they say Mr. Nsele invest X amount into a savings account. He withdrew 15,000 from the account 2 years after making the initial deposit. Now they say 4 years after making the initial deposit, right? The accumulated amount what in the savings account it's was 75,000. Now they are saying now from here the account and an interest of 12% per annum compounded monthly for the first 3 years. Thereafter, an interest rate of 8% per annum compounded half yearly. So what is it that you are going to do now here? So basically now, remember the amount here was invested for the first 4 years after making the initial deposit, right? So now what is it that we are going to do now from here? Remember, so which means we are looking for this particular scenario whereby now the initial deposit was made, which is the amount of money that we don't know. Then they are saying now 3 years after, right? 3 years after. So which means we want to know in terms of what is going to be the amount that is going to be here and here. What was going to be the initial amount 3 years after year number 4. Okay. And now what is important to note is that now after the first 3 years, the account now earned an interest of 8%. Okay. So which means we are looking in terms of now when this amount accumulated to 75,000 here, what is going to be what was the principal amount that was going to be in there, right? Not for the first 3 years, but 3 years after, right? Which means we are just looking for the 3 year up until what? Up until the 4th year, which is only just the period of 1 year. Altogether. So which means what is it then that you're going to have here? So which means here we are going to say A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power of what? To the power of N. Then now what is it here? So the accumulated amount, they said this is 75,000 into, we don't know what is the principal amount. This is 1 plus the interest that was earned here. It's 0.08 over what? Over 2. Then what is going to be here? What is going to be the N? So the N that you are given here, they said it's also semi-annually for the last year, right? Because they want you to know in terms of after making the initial 3 year after making the initial deposit, what is going to be the amount of money that was in there, right? So which means here, from here, what is it that you're going to have? So this is going to be same as what? We are looking for the principal amount. So we are going to now divide both sides by 1 plus 0.08 over 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 here. And then we are going to do this on the same thing. 1 plus 0.08 over 2 to the power of what? 2 times 1, so that these are going to cancel each other. So which means now what is going to be the principal amount that was in that particular bank? So the principal amount then, which means this was 69,000. So this was 69,341, comma what? 340 1.72, which was going to what? Which was the initial amount 3 years before, right? So, which means now basically that is the principal amount that you are given to calculate in there. Are we fine? All right. So now let's look at now your 7.4.2, right? They say calculate the value of X, right? The amount that Mr. Nsele initially deposited into the account. So now they want us to calculate what is the X amount of money, right? So now, so let's just recap and see in terms of what is it that you are having. So we are saying now from here, from year 1, we have year 1 up until year 4, right? So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Then now they said from 0 up until the 3rd year, it earned an interest of 12%. Now this interest was earned monthly, right? And then now after that, there's also a period of 1 year, right? There's also this window period of 1 year where the interest that was earned here, it was 8%. What this is going to be, it's semi-annually, right? If I'm not mistaken, the interest that is earned here, it's semi-annually, right? But now there's something that they mentioned. They say he withdraw. So which means before the end of the first 3 years, now there was a withdrawal, which means at this particular interval, there was a 15,000 that was subtracted in here, right? Oh, it's okay. So then that's what basically we are having here, right? So which means that is going to be what we are having in here. So, and then now from here, what is important? I want us to also note that this particular 15,000 also, it's going to what? It's going to also take up the interest that it was meant to earn, right? And then now from here, they are saying, then now they are saying now that for the first 3 years, they say thereafter the interest rate changed to 8%, right? So which means now after here, we are also going to say, now from here, this particular amount accumulated to what? To 75,000, which means this particular amount of money that you are having is going to be 75,000. Now, the nice thing here, we already know that at year number 3, you had 16, we had 69,000, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was 69,000. Yes, it was 69,341, 69,341, comma what? This is going to be comma 72. Now let's see in terms of what is that we are going to do now from here. So basically, mine is simple. There are a lot of things that one can do to to calculate what was the X amount of money. Remember here we are looking for the X amount of money. So the easier thing that one can do is to firstly say, now this is the compounding period, right? So one can calculate in terms of how much money, or rather how much interest was this particular 15,000 going to earn a year after, and then calculate thereafter. Altogether, which means now we can calculate now in terms of what is going to be the 15,000, also the amount of money that was going to what, or the amount of interest that was going to be earned. Once again, so now, which means when we are coming back here, we are going to say, all right, now from here, what is it then that you're going to have here? So we are going to say, all right, starting from here now, we are going to check. They say in an account, we had what? We had this particular amount of money, which means now from 0 to this particular year, this was the amount of money that this particular account had, right? So now, so what is it then that one can do? We can then also calculate in terms of how much is going to be then the interest that is going to be earned in the last quarter. Once again, now, so which means now we can calculate in terms of if the 15,000 was withdrawn, right? If the 15,000 was withdrawn, how much money are we then going to have here, right? So let's see. So which means ours, we can start now from here. We say, all right, starting from here up until here, what is it really that we are going to have here, right? So which means we are going to say now, look, we are saying from here, this is this is going to be A into P, 1 plus I to the power of N. Actually here, we want to know in terms of before, how much was the money that was in there before? It was 69,000, right? So we are saying if the accumulated amount is 69,000, 341 comma what comma 72 before the withdrawal. What was the principal amount, right? So before the withdrawal, which means this is going to be 1 plus, remember the interest, then it was what? It was 3, right? It's 0 comma, it's going to be 0 comma 1 2 over what? This is going to be over 12. Then now what is it then that you're going to have here? This is also to the power of what? 12. Once again, to find out in terms of what was what was going to be the amount that was in this particular bank before the 15,000 was withdrawn. Right? So what is it then that you're going to have here? So which means here we are looking for the value of your P. And then as soon as we calculate for the value of the P, then what is that you're going to have? So we are saying now your P, if you plug this in your calculator, you are going to have what? 61,000 rather. This is 61,000. 537 comma, this is 2 this is 2 this is 2, or rather 255, then this is going to be 69 altogether, which is going to be the principal amount that one is going to have, right? Now then now let's see in terms of what is it that you're going to have here, which means now this is going to be the amount in the account before the 15,000 was withdrawn, right? So which means now from here, what is it then that you're going to do? So which means here we can come back and add this particular 15,000 and calculate in terms of if the 15,000 was there, what was the principal amount before, right? So which means now we are saying this was the money here before the 15,000 was withdrawn. Now, instead of subtracting the 15,000, one can add the 15,000 here. And then we say 15,000 right, plus 15,000. What is it that we are going to have here now? So which means now this is 76,000. This is 76,005 537 comma 255 right? So this is going to be the amount here, right? Before the 15,000 was withdrawn. And then now from here we can do what? We can then calculate in terms of what is going to be the initial amount, which is X. So which means in this case now we are moving from backward, we are moving this way, right? We started here to here. Then now we are moving from here to this window. Then we are moving from here. Now we are looking for the what? We are looking for the X here. So then what is it that we are going to have here? Let's just make up our space here, which means now here we are going to say, all right, now from here, so which means now we are looking for the first 2 years. We are done with the what? With the last 2 years. So we are going to come back and say, now this is the principal amount, right? So which means this is A plus A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power of N, right? This is to the power of N. Now, what is going to be the A? Right now, the accumulated amount, remember, we know that's 76,537, comma 255 69 into, we are looking for the x, which is the principal amount. This is same as what? 1 plus what is the interest given there? This is 0.12 over what? This is 0.12 over 12. And then now from here, this is going to be to the power of what? To the power of 24 altogether. So basically, that is going to be the amount that you are going to have. And then now from here, we are looking for x, which means we are going to divide both sides by this, right? So then when we are looking for x, we are dividing both sides. And then as we divide the 76,000 and everything like that with, right? Remember here, we are going to divide with just only this one. The 24, it means now it's 2. Remember, it's 2 years times what? Times 12, right? So then now from here, we are going to end up having 60,000. This is 6,278, comma what? Comma 15 altogether. So basically, which is going to be the amount that we are going to have initially before everything, or rather before we accumulated the 75,000, right? So the thing is here, what we did is that we operated starting from the 75,000, and then we went backwards to find out what is the value of your x, right? Hopefully now all of this makes sense, and you can, be in a position that you answer all these types of questions whenever you are given. Thank you very much for listening.